Blake, do you have a travel ban on California, or does it have one on you?
Toby, it's more that the laws of physics have banned me, as that's too far of a flight to go with water medicine to get me through the fog.
Welcome to the Church Gear Podcast, where we pull the tech out of the booth and onto the stage to share the most outlandish stories and hidden wisdom from the tech trenches. And now, here are your hosts.
Your host, Blake Hodges, a man who has only spent 34 hours in California before, and I'm here with my co-host who nearly left his family in a snowstorm apocalypse to stay in California like a scoundrel, but he didn't. Toby Walters.
First of all, I want to clarify what in your context is modern medicine when you're talking about getting across the country on an airplane.
There's not enough drugs to get me to California, I think.
But what's your version of drugs that you'll use for
incapacitate? Like, you know how they put you under anesthesia for surgery? If they could put me under and fly me to California, that would work.
So when you fly up to Philo, for example, and it's just a 1 hour flight, what do? You just white knuckle it?
There's things I can't say that I do on the podcast, on air.
Why?
But then, content ratings. But so I do some things to get me through. Plus, I white knuckled the armrest. Mm-hmm. I stress speak to the flight attendant. Mm-hmm. I ask her to tell me why I'm going to be safe. I do this every time. And then I start to pray a lot.
Yeah. I love the one flight where they gave us drinks. And then 3 minutes later, they said, we're going to come get your drinks because we're about to experience some extreme turbulence.
I said, I need more drinks. I need all the drinks. Are we allowed to say this? It's a lot of drinks. All right. Yeah. It's a lot of drinks. I'm a nervous flyer.
So I went out to California twice recently. Both were for events. And you were exactly correct that in between those 2 weeks, there was the looming ice storm. And everybody knows about this ice storm because it hit, 2/3 of the country? Yeah, this was wild. So it's Tuesday, Wednesday of the week I'm out in California. My wife texted me and says, hey, there's this winter event coming and it's supposed to be pretty intense. And she just my wife is the sweetest woman on the planet and she's way too good to me. But she says, do you just want to stay in California?
She offered?
She did.
What a good wife. Wife of the Year award.
Yes. Now, did she really mean it, or is she just the sweetest person on the planet?
Or is it a trap?
Well,
she's testing you, Toby.
So to give context, the reason I was definitely going to come home, and this was during NAMM week where a lot of our friends were out at NAMM. And so all of them are thinking, and I'm talking to a lot of them, okay, you're flying back to Charlotte, you're flying back to Atlanta, and you're flying back on Friday or Saturday, and it's supposed to start like Friday night, Saturday morning, and just hoping you get home. But just for context, so we have a small group of young marrieds, and one of the husbands, that they've only been married a year, he had a golf trip planned with his buddies down to Florida. So he's down in Florida when this thing hits and he can't get a flight home. His wife loses power. She is then calling and texting friends around town. Can I come stay at your house? She then makes her way through the ice to get to a friend's house and skids off the road. Like, this is why I knew there's no way I'm staying in California, because you're just guaranteed for something like this to happen and I'll never live it down.
You'd be a scoundrel,
yes,
like a
exactly.
Real scoundrel. At least you're just doing shenanigans on the podcast.
So I did go home, but the reason, I went out for NAMM, and it's funny, everybody said, oh, am I going to see you at NAMM? And I said, actually, no, I'm flying home the morning of NAMM, but we did it to host The Mix. And so we hosted another The Mix event at Mariners Church. Blake, again, I'm so sad that you've never seen Mariners. It is, one of the special ones that does production at a level that is just otherworldly in a sense.
I'm sad too, because since I wasn't there, I just assumed the event went terrible. How did it go?
It was awesome. Probably 60 or 70 of our church production friends showed up. And again, for anybody who hasn't been to The Mix, the whole purpose behind it is let's get the community together. Let's just build the connection, build relationships, and then see how a church does it behind the scenes. You get a behind the scenes tour. We give you free Chick-fil-A. We always end up with way too much.
It's so expensive though. Like, don't we charge like $500 a ticket to go to The Mix?
Only to the people that we don't like. But otherwise, everybody else, it's free. It's just a free event.
It's free to everybody but me?
Free to everybody but you, Blake.
Dang it.
And so our
Can
next
someone
one,
make me their +1?
yeah, our next one we're hosting is the night before Philo. Oftentimes, people come into town on Monday, like they get in around dinner time on Monday, and then they start texting people, "Hey, are you doing anything for dinner? There's nothing going on." And so we're going to host the mix at Heritage Church in Lake Zurich. It's about 15 or 20 minutes from Willow, where Philo is. But again, the whole point is just bring the community together. It's a totally free event. You gather together, get a behind the scenes tour, you get free food, and you just get to meet other people in the space.
Now, because this one's at Philo, do I get to go for free, or is it still $500 for me?
Yeah, it's still $500, but you do get to come.
Okay, I'm going to start saving up right now because
Yes.
I would really like to go. The other person that I would really love to see at the mix at Philo is the technical director of Celebration Church in Georgetown, Texas, and the real miracle behind the 69 Mets, Christian Acevedo.
Yeah, that was good. That was good.
Is it Acevedo?
Or is it Acevedo?
Acevedo. Acevedo would be the non-Hispanic way of doing it, but
Yeah.
all good.
Blake grew up around nothing but Southern white people. So he knows names like Smith and Johnson. And,
Jack and Jill.
Yeah.
Christian,
All good.
I just now started enjoying the magic of hot sauce. So I'm trying. I'm making my way there. I'm trying to diversify my palate, get off the mayonnaise.
and
Thank you guys for having me.
Christian, what is Acevedo? Obviously Hispanic. What's your heritage? What's your background?
Yeah, I'm Puerto Rican. I was born and raised though in New York City. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
So quick question. I know it's been a minute now since the Super Bowl, but can you educate all of us that had no idea what Bad Bunny was talking about? Can you give us some context?
I'm kind of a wild one. I actually went to Puerto Rico to understand just a little bit more. So I saw a lot of what was going to transpire. I'm a crazy one. I used it as an opportunity also to go bring my kids and see my grandparents. We took my grandparents with us on this trip and see where they grew up. There's just this awareness of some of the things that are transpiring with the island, and it just makes you grateful for actually the States and they came over here with nothing, and they were able to make something of themselves and do great and really build a foundation for all of us. My family's doing so well, and yeah, it just helps seeing the little beach side of the island where my grandfather grew up, and to share that with my kids, it's really, really special. We're not gonna have them much longer, unfortunately. They're getting up there in age, 10 years if we're lucky. So just want to really take the time out to say thank you and get them to pass it down to yet another generation.
Blake, it sounds like you, me, and Christian need to go to the beach side of Puerto Rico again.
That sounds
and some of his heritage, hang out with his grandparents.
I am willing to eat not mayonnaise for a couple days to go to Puerto Rico. I have a friend that has a place there, and it sounds pretty nice on the beach side. I would like to see it.
Yeah.
You said you moved to Texas or New York. Where are you at now, though?
Right now we're in Texas. I live out in the Austin area. Church itself is in Georgetown, but yeah, made the transition. This year makes 9 years, which is absolutely insane for me. So yeah, I grew up just a little bit. I came from the kind of like the Brooklyn Tabernacle umbrella of things out in New York City. Back in the 80s, like campuses were not necessarily a thing. Pastor would meet with a group of people and said, "Hey, you're starting a new church in this side of the city." So the first church birthed out of Brooklyn Tabernacle was a church called Christ Tabernacle, which was on the other side of Brooklyn. They had been given a building, and my journey kind of started there. The pastors there were my parents' youth leaders in Brooklyn Tabernacle, and they were freaking out because they were just young parents and said yes to Jesus and joined this church, and their whole life changed. And I've been part of that church for a long time, still very close with them to this day. 10 years on staff there. Didn't want to sit with them while service was going on. And they let me sit with the sound guy. And he was just like, "Hey, we have a neat downstairs with the kids. Do you mind playing cassette tapes for them?" So I was 11 years old, and it's been a wild 29 years now of, we don't use cassettes anymore, but everything in between, from cassettes for kids to leading production for our church today. And it's been a wild ride.
Toby, we need to start a ticker for the amount of people that they start out in the youth group or they start their tech journey before
That's
18.
basically everybody.
Yeah, maybe we don't need it. It's just everyone.
Yeah. So Christian, a Brooklyn kid. Now you're in Texas. Talk to us. What led to that transition to your role today at Celebration, and then where do your sports loyalties lie?
Ooh.
We'll start with the latter. So I'm like all Mets. Yeah, we've spoken before. It's a heritage thing. It's you don't have a choice when you're born. It is what it is. But yes, it is a huge. I have a problem. Sign baseballs, the full bit. So just ministry in New York City. It was my formative years, man. It was just beautiful. We would have 1,500 kids coming from the street, a really impactful movement, and it was like no holds barred church. We we did hip hop in church in 1996, which was a big no, right? I was pretty young. I was around 11 years old, and I had an opportunity to do monitors, right? The guy didn't show up, and they were just like, hey, this is the game of Battleship, what and where, and it's going to come out of those speakers. Just shut up and listen, and just do whatever they tell you. And then the guy ran back to the front of house. But yeah, I figured it out. And we would do these things called hit and runs. And it was, we would set up small sound systems. Yeah. So it was a street ministry called Hit and Run. And it was, we would do hip hop in the street. And then this Adam Durso, big shout out. It was just like, we're going to break all the rules. As long as we don't sin to get kids in church. And these were kids straight off the street. And it was unique because they weren't the attendees kids. These were kids straight off the street that ended up becoming pastors of the church. It was kind of wild time. Yeah, it was wild. So yeah, like back to hit and runs. They were, we would set up a small sound system and a few microphones in a van that we kind of like outfitted for soundboard and such. And we would, we would rock until the police came and shut us down because we didn't have a sound permit or anything. And then we would go to the next location. And we're talking the 90s. New York City was not the easiest place. It was really, really rough. Back then, the harder you were, the cooler you were. Now it's all sophisticated and tight pants, right? Like it was not that at all. It was a tough time in New York City. And just to see what God did through that, it was a really, really special time. And it formed me, it showed me the grit, the grind, and souls get saved through that. It was the most rewarding. It's like a merit badge or something. It was a really, really special time. And then, so I had a meeting with my pastors about, just what's next. And felt like it was my time. Ironically, it was at Philo. Todd's a close friend. We've been close for almost 15 years now. The first person you call is Todd Elliott whenever you're in a tech predicament, right? I call him and he's just like, just come out here, man. Let's figure it out. And it was Philo, and met some guys, and through a sequence of events, I ended up coming to Austin, and it was a divine thing. Everything about it was divine. And it was like, all right, God, you're trying to show me something. And I didn't know anybody. And I already had tickets to Austin when I meet two guys from Austin, and they were blabbing on about a new church or a new building that was built, and if I would ever consider coming on over to be a part of it. And it made no sense, but it made all the sense. It was just God's divine hand in the transition. So I've been fortunate enough to see both sides of the spectrum, kind of like inner city New York grind and grit, and then a little bit more there's parking here. That's kind of cool, right? It's a pretty beautiful thing that we get to put up together here at Celebration. I've been blown away that I've been honored with tenure in both sides of the spectrum and everything in between. So I get to share others in that grit and grind, or on the bigger scale, more butts and seats,
Toby, does this make Todd a prophet? I mean,
Todd is any kind thing you want to say about him. It qualifies.
I mean, I'm just saying, he told him, let's figure it out. And he got
I had coffee 3 days ago, so I love it.
And you didn't invite me?
I told you about it, but you were definitely not invited.
Well, I was told that Todd time costs $2,000. Yes, and I was like, well, I'm saving up for the mix, which is $500.
So, Christian, you get started 11
Yes, sir.
years old and you get dropped into this world that you have no, background experience in, and you're learning, you're running, it's super exciting. And you're
doing hit and runs.
Yeah, you're doing hit and runs. You get to know the people in your ministry, the people at your church, but you have no idea who works at the church down the street or who's the tech director at Willow Creek or all these other things. But like, how did you start building your community outside of the walls of your church to have other production people that when it was time, you knew to call Todd Elliott? Like, how'd you start building that community?
Yeah, so I was really fortunate to be under the leadership of someone that really believed big in community. And at that young age, it made no sense, the meetings he was sending me to. It would be like, hey, Christian, go. That guy has a student ministry in Harlem, and he's struggling to get people to attend his service. And I'm like, Adam, what do I have to offer that guy? But he forced the issue. So it made him real comfortable when I started gaining, learning more about production. I'm going to be a student. I'm going to make phone calls. I'm going to be a sponge. Then when it became time to go to school, and I went to school for entertainment technology, it was, I felt like I had this awesome community behind me, and school was a breeze because I had learned these things through asking questions. I was a sponge. I also had a man by the name of Abraham Vieira, who owns a pretty big production company in New York City, and he would just show me that you don't have to necessarily be the best in a finite skill set. The bosses of the whole thing just kind of like know who to call to get them out of predicaments. So I was just like, okay, I'm going to be a sponge. I'm going to surround myself with people that know it better than me, my peers, and those people that are going to tell me I have a booger in my nose and care enough about me, So that's that 360 awareness. I don't know how people do it without community. I always felt like it's like driving without mirrors. You need people to see your blinds. You need to be able to see your blind spot. And I drive a Tesla, so I go even extra hard on the awareness of where I'm driving, where my destination is. The community is everything. I've been fortunate enough to host some roundtables, and yeah, people picked up the phone for me. I'm going to return that tenfold and text people. Hey, thinking about you, praying for you. That's my, if there's one thing that I could say has been my superpower, it's been that. That's gotten me through some incredible predicaments, whether I needed prayer, needed someone to talk to, or QSIS is not working. It's really, really helped. I don't know where I would be without that community of people. And
how did you meet Todd that you knew to call him when you were, thinking about the next stage?
Toby, Todd appears the moment a tech needs him. It's like when they have a crisis.
He was the fourth person on the Mount of Transfiguration.
He's the tech fair.
Yeah. Say his name 3 times and he appears. So this I owe it to my leadership. So Adam Durso was just like, hey, find someone that does what you do better. And he gave this challenge to like the staff one day, and find someone that does what you do better. And I'm willing to come out of pocket and bring them on in. Mm-hmm. And he flew Todd Elliott in, and we've just been inseparable since. And I mean, we went and saw a show. I took him to see a Broadway show just to open up. Let's go and see something in the field outside of the church. And we went on eventually after that to host, it was Gurus at the time. And we did a small version with some leftover supplies that he had from Gurus. And we had churches come through in the tri-state area. That's not the norm in New York City. You have a given 3 churches on a New York City block that never talk to each other and they don't know each other. I was trying my best to break that mold. I would say, hey, like, bring your kids over. They don't even have to attend this church. I want to help. I have someone that I consider a little brother. He was at the church and was still very close and super proud. He's touring right now, but he was really, really young. And he was just like, hey, I go to the church down the block. Can you show me a few things so I could help the church out? Absolutely. Give me your Tuesday and your Wednesday after school. Come here and we coil cables. And I showed him how to coil cables. Now he's touring the world. Just really, it's I don't know how people function without it. It's more valuable than the knowledge for me. I'm not a gearhead, to my shame. I found that there's this niche, and if you inspire the people that you get to lead, actually, they're going to Google and find out solutions better than I ever would. Especially these, I think about, I'm going through the Rolodex right now, but a 16-year-old 17, I would say, when I showed up here at Celebration, when the opportunities and like what he's doing right now, just blown away. What this kid does with Previs, I'm just absolutely blown away. But he brought that to the table. Why? Because we kept him inspired. We put the carrot in front of the horse. We provided opportunities for growth, and showed him the why. Why are we doing it this way? It's been everything. It's been everything to us.
Like back when I was in California, because I'm going to just keep dropping it to you, where the weather was perfect.
Toby, you just want to keep. Toby wants to keep flexing Christian that he came back and was a good husband. And
that's true.
That's fine. Well, I'll give you some credit. Here's some credit tokens.
Thank you. So, if anybody's listened to our podcast for more than like 3 episodes, we talk about community all the time,
and they have brain damage.
And brain damage, yes. So, is out at the House Right workshop and teaching a class on recruiting and training volunteers, and one girl kind of sheepishly raises her hand. And I say, "Yeah, well, what's your question?" And she says, "We just really struggle to train volunteers. We don't have somebody on staff or somebody as part of our team that really knows audio production that can teach these guys. What should we do?" And so I asked her, "Where are you located?" She said the city. And then I said to the room, "Now don't raise your hand unless you mean it, but how many people within 45 minutes of her church are willing to drive out and help teach and train their volunteers?" And like 7 hands went up. And I said, okay, Nicole, like you see all 7 of those hands, you all need to connect afterwards, because yes, like you're saying, it's not just New York City. We don't know the church down the street, and yet we all need each other's help. It's so simple and so, overwhelmingly necessary at the same time.
Yeah. Sorry, Blake. I was just thinking, and my apologies for interjecting, but it also counters it's against the introverted character of the technician. And I think that's the biggest battle, though. How many breakouts you've been in Philo, and they kind of like, some go to the back and scatter. It's not like big hubs, or, it's not organic for most of them to come out of their shell and have those conversations and make those phone calls. That's where, in my opinion, a lot of the challenge lies. And some of us that are okay, I can be introvert, but you strike the chord and I become this other person. It's those of us that are okay with being both. I think it's on us. I feel like I have this calling to kind of like bridge that. But hey, here are opportunities. Here's to your point, just like you raised your hand. That's been my life's mission, honestly. Roundtables. Hey, how can I resource you? Please call me. I call churches. Don't know the guy, just like, hey, let's grab. There's a pretty big church locally out here, and we were staring at each other. He was 5 minutes away, and I said, hey, meet me at this restaurant. Let's grab lunch. We stared at each other for too long, and I wanna break that. I just really want to encourage anybody that's listening, and you haven't done that, just go out there and be that support. Because also the inverse of that is one day you're gonna need some help with something as well, and you're gonna learn something also in the process. So kudos to you for probing that question and going for the jug there. That's awesome.
Toby, maybe people just need to be at these tech events and they need to go up to someone and say, hey, do you want to do a hit and run with me? Yeah. And like that could be your opening.
I mean, a huge advantage, Christian is talking about these roundtable events, and we're in 2026 now, where there's more church production community and gatherings than there's ever been in history. Yeah, there's more opportunities, Philo, SALT, the House Right workshops, Thought Leader Connect, just local.
The mix events that are free to everyone but me.
Yes. Get out of your church and into the community. There's all these options. And then, Christian, you found a key person. You found Todd Elliott, who is, a super connector in the space. And there are these super connectors like Christian and Todd and Justin Firesheets and Dennis Choi and these guys. And all these guys are willing, and girls, willing to help you connect with the right people. Christian, how do you, first steps? Is it that super connector? Is it going to Philo or another event? What's just the first baby steps to start building your community?
Yeah. Yeah, I think the DM is fine. I think just hearing people out. I want to learn from people's mistakes and learn from their wins as well. But I found that it starts with the DM or the text message, and take it from there. Hear what they say and put your game plan together. There's no the DM is free 99. Okay, like it doesn't cost much. But I think it starts first though with getting over that hump, and then they will introduce you to others, people in your church's area. So you just probe this or ask that question at an event that then led to the community that probably would be built. But yeah, it starts with the DM. I would say reach out to someone that to Adam's point that does it better than you, and at least establish a connection. I envy this generation because you have Instagram and you have access to people immediately. Yeah. And take advantage of that. I just, so many people have just, Justin's another one. He was just like, hey, come be a part of this roundtable. But I had to go. I knocked on the door one day at Highlands, and I'm like, hey, my name is Christian. Can I hang and sit back here? Yeah. I had to get over myself. That wasn't within me. I had to say, hey, I need to be a sponge. And kudos to Justin, very, very dear friend. Stephen Pippett, another one, just one of my closest friends. Also, just these guys that just gave me their time. I want to honor their legacy in a way too, and be that for someone else,
So talking about these, Adam specifically that poured into you, you're 11 years old, you get the opportunity, sets you up monitors, you're going to start hitting running strangers apparently. How are you
with the gospel?
How are you now in a position, you're raising up young leaders, giving them an opportunity. How are you pouring into the next young generation, specifically at Celebration?
Yeah. So we found that this is a lot, or I found, I should say, that it's much different than New York. I used to do this weird thing in New York. And before I say that, I want to just take a macro step back. Find what works in in the context of your space or in your environment, in your town, in your city. In New York, I used to do this thing. I don't know where this is in the Bible, but I would do a fantasy football draft with members of the production team, not not based on the NFL players, but based on the team members. So I established 5 leaders, and I went through each member of production and their skill set, and we all analyzed this together. And to even out each team on rotation, everyone got to pick sequentially in like a snake draft, like they were football players. I don't think that's in the Bible, but it worked in the context in New York City. Why? Because we used to have this group of kids, and they were only the kids. And it was the next generation. And then we had a group, this one team that they were all these like retired military and like OGs, or the old tech guy you could give anything to and they fix. These guys would show up crazy early, break bread with each other before service started. They were waiting for the door to be open. And then we had these kids that needed to be driven by their parents. And I said, I'm going to switch this up. Let's mix this up so the OGs get to teach the next generation. And that was the formula that worked. We saw an evenness amongst our teams that you couldn't tell anymore what team was on, because we had the OG team that lacked creativity but knew how to fix anything that was thrown their way. Yeah. And then we had these young kids that couldn't get there on time, but because of video games and access to YouTube, the shots that they were grabbing were just beautiful, and we evened out the playing field. I came to out here and it didn't necessarily work as much as I planned. I had to change the formula for this context. So yeah, what I try my best to do is keep people responsibly solely for the journey. So we have an all-stars program here. So at the grade of 5th, that's like they're about to leave kids attending kids' church. So we kind of give them a little bit of responsibility. The rooms are outfitted with just pro presenter and a microphone. And they could manage that. Now we have someone that walks with them through the journey. And then from the kids, typically that goes from 5th grade to around like late middle school. We keep them in there. And then we have the students team that they're responsible for the student services. We're working on building that now, but then it's the end goal of Sunday services and our larger events. And we found that there's been incredible success with the intentional direction of those people through that journey. So we're being intentional from 5th grade to big room, if that makes sense. So we were working it, trim the fat, chew the meat, spit out the bones. We tried different ways of communicating. That's been an interesting hurdle, but you keep on refining, learning, and you move forward. But you have to be intentional with it. It's the next generation. They're going to do this better than you. Period.
Toby, is he chewing the meat of the people that he killed in his hit and runs?
Well, and then he's spitting out the bones.
Man.
And Blake, I'm imagining you going through the same tech journey as at Celebration Church. So we pair you with somebody who just graduated 5th grade and see who learns it faster. I got my money on the
game. There you go.
Well, and if they put me there and they say trim the fat, I mean, it's a lot of plastic surgery we're doing to me.
Yeah.
Christian, I noticed at the top of your episode, Toby's potential topic was isolate and you perish. And I was like, that's a good topic.
Yeah.
Could you maybe give us some of the why? We've talked about the how on community. We've talked about the what. Give us some of the why. Like someone's hearing this and they're like, man, build a network. I'm in this closet building a network right now. I don't have time for this. Like, why is community so important? Why will they perish without it?
Yeah. So I'll go to a situation. We were doing a roundtable, and all of our phones are blowing up. This was in 2020, and it was literally all our pastors hitting us up. I was with Justin Firesheets and some guys from some local churches, and literally the world was shutting down. And I remember like someone's giving, sharing what they're going through, and then our phones go off that the NBA canceled its game. Oh, yeah. So that was like this was a Tuesday at this point. Yeah. And little did we know how much we needed each other. Some churches were still not streaming the best that they could. They did it, but they didn't do it, if that makes sense. They needed to hack away at recordings and keeping everyone safe over that time. And we had this network of people. They're still some of my closest friends. Shep was part of that, and we're still very, very close. Just these guys that we just really, really bonded, because little did we know just what was going to transpire over the next few weeks. And if you were in New York, you probably weren't going to have church for the next year. It was just wild, but I don't know how we would have survived without each other. So the why is it's at one point I would consider us the livelihood of the church. Yeah. And I had this band of brothers that I went and did battle with, and they didn't even attend my church. Beautiful. Yeah. They attended the big C church, as we call it. I don't know what we would have done without each other, honestly. So yes, that would be the why.
I love that. It's, that's an extreme example. That's, when the poop hits the fan, essentially, like the world shut down.
But who threw the poop at the fan? Did they wash their hands? Oh my gosh.
But, that's an ultimate extreme example. I love it. It could simply be, I'm ready to give up because I'm so burnt out. And who do you talk to? Your tech community. Yeah. Or you're celebrating, I pulled off this crazy technical thing on Easter and I'm trying to explain it to my wife. And she's like, that's cool. I don't get it. Who are you going to talk to? There's so many reasons to not isolate.
Yeah. Pick you up when you're down. Yeah. Hoist you up even further when you're up. Yeah. I like that. Yeah. You need someone who can talk you off the ledge when you feel like you're ready to rage quit your job at the church. I'm not talking about me. At the church. Yep. Someone on the podcast said, don't quit on a bad week. I think that might have been Tim
or your
Foote.
Worst week or whatever.
Yeah, I'm going to add a second one there. Don't quit on your worst day. Don't quit until you talk to one of your tech brothers outside of that church.
And sisters.
Yeah, tech brother, sister, and they might tell you to leave. Just talk to them first.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, and even on that thread, like most of the stuff was not gear related. It was more people related. Hey, I'm the grind. I'm here again shooting 16 services, and I have to balance this off with my wife. Just stuff like that. Just really, it was the back and forth that would go on in most of those threads. It was almost like dealing with, it wasn't tech talk. If it was this emotional, like, how do I not burn out in this season? It was wild times, man.
Your tech support group.
Yeah.
Tech support.
That's pretty good.
That could be one of our church tech names.
Yep.
All right.
There you go.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, Blake, do you want to tee up a disaster?
Well, I want to hear a little bit more about Celebration Church.
Yeah.
We haven't talked about any. I know it's not about the gear, but sometimes we want to hear about the gear.
Yeah.
You know, how many campuses are y'all running? What unique tech are you guys using?
And Christian, one of the things I noticed specifically, maybe you can talk about it real quick, is the camera pedestals that you swapped out tripods and pedestals for something different. But what's unique about Celebration? What you guys are doing production and gear wise?
Yeah, we do have a Mark Roberts system integrated. That's been great. We had a. I don't know if I should share this. I'm going to share it. We had a Google review of a woman that felt she was too short to attend our service, and of course, she sat right behind this station that we had built to get at eye height, right, line of sight, and was just completely blocked. And of course, out of the 3,000 seats in the auditorium, you chose that one and left us a review. Yay. But yeah, we have that going on. I have a real unique one for you. Recently, we built out our Lake Travis location, and it is in the Galleria. It's like a strip mall out west. It's really beautiful location. We had some power things come up, and HVAC just needed to pull more than we had anticipated for. So we didn't want to stop the project, and we had a lot of momentum with the people, and it was just moving forward. So it was just like, hey guys, how could we uniquely think about this? And we had a few different, what are we going to do? And we spat out, hey, a generator. So right now the AVL is powered by a generator that lives outside that gets rolled in every single Sunday, because it's a kind of a higher end strip mall, and they don't want to see or hear anything. So we got them to agree to a block amount of time. So that's a innovation right there, making it happen, to not mess with your timeline. That one's really, really, it's an interesting Sunday, but it works. I don't know what we would be doing without it. So now we're still in conversations with them to getting the proper power in there to make needed. We're primarily not primarily, we're fully a Yamaha house. Panasonic cams, typical, Ross Carbonite. Yeah.
Did I miss something on the short attendee? Did you guys find a way to fix that seat, or that seat does require shack?
Well, no, we did install the Mark Roberts, so we removed the station altogether, and now it's just robotic cameras that go up and down. If she's listening, we fixed it, and you could remove your post.
You can reply on a Google review. You should literally reply and be like, we did this whole thing. We'd love to see you back.
And Blake, you're talking about a camera pedestal station, so it's a 3-foot riser that sits somewhere in the sanctuary, so you can put then a camera operator up on top of it with a tripod, so you have the right sight line for your camera shot. But if you're standing behind that, it is a large visual blockade. So they removed remove the operator, and then put in a robotic system that is
got it.
By a company called Mark Roberts, and it's a very unique solution.
A large visual blockade is part of why I started running. We were getting the same Google reviews at my church that people behind me, they couldn't see. So I understand. I'm all for eliminating large visual blockades in church.
And Blake, the ultimate reason that Celebration is as successful as it is, besides the Holy Spirit, their pastor's name is Joe Champion.
That's a cool name.
I know. How do you not win when your last name is Champion?
I guess you kind of have to. But sometimes you don't always win, Toby. Sometimes there's a disaster. So, Christian, hit us up with a disaster moment. It could be at your current church. It could be on one of your hit and runs that went awry and you couldn't bury the body fast enough.
Spit out the bones.
Yeah. The one that immediately comes to mind is it was a secular company I was contracted for to do a church event. I didn't have affiliation with the church, so I think that they thought, a guy from the church world doing a church event, that'll work. And it was an outdoor event, and it was at Flushing Meadow Park, where the greatest baseball team on the planet plays baseball. So we had this event. It just seemed like Eeyore was like on like where we were supposed to do this event. There was just one cloud, and it poured like nobody's business. You would think we were, someplace tropical or something like that, or rainforest, but it was only in this one part of the park. It was just a really, really weird thing. So, our generator was fully submerged in water. Whoa. And, this pastor, never met him, comes to us and says, "In the name of Jesus, turn that on." And I'm like, "No, we're not turning that on. I love you enough to tell you, we're not. You're about to have the 4th of July, and it's not going to be good." And he just like starts ripping me and the team a new one, just like saying, "I'm sorry, I don't know if we could say that, but
you can say whatever you want. Was just whatever you want."
And he goes, I don't believe in your science. Turn it on in the name of Jesus." And it was just like, and they're looking at me because they know I'm the church guy. And he's just like, "Is this guy for real, or is this the?" I don't know. And eventually, like, we made something happen for him. The timeline was completely blown out. We had to make some sacrifices with some of the things in the event. I've never seen that much rain in my life. It was interesting. They started bringing, when you mop the gym and those big dryers, they started bringing that for a park, like that was going to do something. It was just a wild experience. And I just felt in that moment to show the secular crew I was with just a little bit of Jesus in that moment. I was just like, "Hey guys, like he might be under pressure. I don't know, but we need to do this event, and in love. Like, not everybody's like this. Come to church on Sunday and I'll show you an alternative." And I just felt to really just protect what he did was inexcusable. And then he started fights after the church, this pastor, and it just like wasn't pretty. And we've seen, I went to his production crew after that were part of his staff and just like, "Hey, I just want you to know this transpired and this doesn't look good." And I gave them the optics. I needed to let them know they had a bit of a booger in their nose. So, and it was a badge of merit, like how I was proud of myself with how I handled it in the heat of the moment. And to show, Jesus wasn't properly being represented in that moment. I think there could have been stress. There could have been a few things, but just show that there's another side to this thing. And keep calm. Let's do the best we can, and we'll regroup. And I will talk to him because at the end of the day, in that uncomfortable situation, I represent Jesus. But that is my disaster story because it was a doozy. Yeah.
Toby, are you willing to admit that there was a small part of you, because there was in me, that was hoping this story ended with him turning it on
and like, "All right, dude, you said."
Oh my gosh, dude. That dude needs to be careful. You're using Jesus' name in vain. It's intense.
Yeah.
I'm really glad you were there, man, to give them the other perspective. That's a good takeaway from this episode on how to handle someone in a secular setting when our brother in Christ might go a little off the reservation. Yeah. What would we say for a tech takeaway in general? What's your unique piece of advice if you're talking to a room full of tech people, which you are? You just can't see them right now.
Yeah. I think that mirror analogy, when you're driving, make sure you have rear view mirrors that telling you where traffic's coming, and they will protect you, and they will just a blind spot. You have blind spots. You do have them. I promise you. You need people that are going to call you out. You need people that you can encourage, and you need people that will encourage you. Just be aware of that. Don't keep going. That community is vital. It matters more than the gear. Gear changes every 7 years. People that'll run with you a lifetime. Reach and be grateful for the ones that poured into you. Also give honor when honor's due. You're leaving a legacy. Don't take that lightly, man. So that's what I would say.
Should we ask him as his final question where he hit all the bodies from the hit and runs?
It's just bones.
That's
He'd
true.
shoot them up and spit them out.
And without a body, no crime.
That's right. No body, no crime.
So there's no body here except for you, Christian. So do you want to plug anything? Want to point anybody towards anything? Not the burial places of the bones, but anything you want to point people towards in general?
No, Philo, I'm aiming to be there this year. I haven't been able to go because it fell in line with some events we have going here. That's probably the next one that I will be there with my community and my tribe. Really looking forward to it. Come say hi, swing me a DM. I'm an open book, as you could tell. Yeah, by all means, Philo, and reach out to someone.
And obviously, you guys need to come to the mix the night before Philo.
Yeah, for sure. I'm changing my flight now.
Do it.
And Christian, can you make me your +1 so I can attend for free? I would also.
I'm still going to charge you.
Dang it.
Let's take it out of your paycheck. Blake.
Okay, there we go. Well,
There you go.
Christian, can't wait to see you and everyone else, maybe Toby as well, at the mix in Philo in May. Thanks for joining us, dude.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys. Appreciate you.
Thanks for hanging out with us. We hope to see you back next week for more absurd stories, tech takeaways, and overall buffoonery here at the Church Gear Studios.
All right, Blake, in the name of Jesus, I want you to get 4,000 people to the mix the night before Philo.
Toby, in the name of Satan. Wow, that doesn't work in reverse. I guess I'll have to do what you said. I'll have to get 4,000 people
Just
there.
use marketing to make it happen. Like, that's what marketing does. It just makes people do things you want them to do, right?
Yeah, it's this unforeseen force. So marketing is the Holy Spirit?
Sure.
You know what? Don't listen to us on theology, but you could listen to some people on theology at the mix and at Philo. So come there, text us to a friend and say, we're going to go listen to some smart people instead.